Hello, hello. Okay. All right, y'all, it's time. It's finally time to get to it. Okay, so tonight tonight is the beginning of this week-long RPG Maker speedrun. Uh that's right, world record, we going. I even set look what I set up. Hey, look at that. That's right. I set it up. Okay. So here's how this is going to work. So this week, I've explained this a few times in the previous streams, but let's just have a little refresher and also go into a bit more detail about exactly how this is going to go. So this week, I'm going to make a series of streams, one a day. They are usually going to start at this hour, but on the 28th, I might start a bit later because I need to go get a vaccine. I might actually do it earlier. I don't know. We'll see. We'll go. We'll figure it out as we go. So, how this is gonna work? I'm gonna be making an RPG Maker game that I've already started a little bit on a previous stream last Saturday. Um, and how this is gonna work? We are going to we are going to do this in sprints, right? Now, the general idea of a sprint, I mean, there's sometimes it's more specific than that, but the general idea of a sprint is gonna be doing these short work segments of like 1 or 2 hours, where I have a very specific list of things to do, usually all related tasks, right? And during those sprints, I'm gonna be all focused, just 100% to work as fast and quickly as possible. And part of that is to basically force me to keep things simple and to not get lost in details and stuff. If I have 10 minutes to do something, I can't go into details. I have exactly that time to do it. So basically, that's to make sure I can actually deliver and do the entire game in just a week, right? Um, and yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah, that's right. Ethical jamming. Uh, now, before I get going, that's right. So I don't. So I know that sprint is a term in agile development and Scrum and whatever. I'm not. I've never been in. I've never actually been in this kind of development environment, so I don't know how close this is to how sprints, and these things actually work. But this to me makes sense. So first, before I get started on the first sprint, so how this is going to work is I'm going to try to keep my streams not more than 6 hours long, and I'm going to do 5 hours of sprinting in those streams, right? So the idea is basically I spend some time between the sprints just kind of talking, just chilling a bit, like taking a little break, and also just talking about how it went and also planning the next one and setting it up and everything. So there's going to be just a little bit of preparation and chill time between each sprint, probably like 10, 15 minutes. And the idea is that the streams shouldn't be too much longer than like 6 hours, but it should be 5 hours of like intense work in each, right? So now, before we get started on the first sprint, I just want to go over the few things that I actually did after the stream last time, and also what I did during the stream. So during the stream I did last Saturday, I just did some, I just made this little tavern with just the RTP tiles. So that was in part that was just to get me used to the way that tiling works in RPG Maker, because I've never used this version and I haven't actually used an RPG Maker in a while. So that was like a good little exercise to get me back into it. That was basically all this was. Nothing too, you know. And another thing I did, and I started that on the stream, but I finished it after the stream during the anime night. I actually prepared a little system to, let me see here. I'm going to set this to 0. I made a little system so that I can recruit characters. Let me just make this so you can. I'll just duplicate this one a bunch of times so I can show it. Basically, just a little character recruitment script, which is going to be very useful later. It's not going to be useful right away because I'm not going to start with the character recruitment thing. I'm going to start with the new pub. So let's just do this and that. And so I didn't just make a character recruitment thing. I also did. So yeah, I set up a bunch of variables, but they're not actually in use. Come on, let me just recruited kid. This is recruited guard. And this is the guard. There you go. Just need that's a little tedious. Sorry about that. This is gonna be the soothsayer. These are all like the basic characters you're gonna recruit at the start. I'm gonna need to draw these guys. That's one of the things I'll do tonight. Soothsayer, yeah, and this one, just to give a little preview of how this works. And basically, I made a script that automatically checks if there's too many people in your party, and if there is, it's basically gonna let you automatically like be able to remove one of the party members. And I made a comment event for this, but let's see. And also I think, okay, no, that should work, right? So I should give myself money at the start. Like 100. There you go. Yeah, so it's getting back to me. It's, you know, it's like riding a bike. You don't really forget. It's just like riding a bike. So all right, well, let's just see here how this works. So new game, and now I should be able to recruit. There you go. I am a child. You really want to die down there? Okay, I can recruit you. They'll say the same thing. I'm a child. Yeah, there you go. And now, when I recruit the fourth one, now the common event should realize that my party's too big. Hopefully it works. Whoa there, bud, you're too popular. Get rid of somebody. And the part that required more of an actual check, the part that was a bit more complicated, is that it needs to make sure that it doesn't suggest to remove the main character. So that's the part that made it a really complicated event, actually. So now I can remove the guard, and the guard is back up there. And actually tells you that the guard's gonna be back here. And the guard actually shows up again. And let's see here. Common events. So this is the script I made for that. It's a big old mess. I basically go over like the whole party to like populate the list that it gives you, and when it finds the main character, it skips over that character, so that's why it's like a big mess. It's super simple. It's just like a mess, and then it just gives you the choices, and then depending on the characters it found that were not the main character, that populates the choice, and then it removes it, and then so it's yeah. So that's all I did after the stream. Just added a script so that I can easily form a party, and automatically the game keeps track of if you have too many party members. So there you go. That's it. All right, now it's time to plan the first sprint. So what I want to do for this first sprint, so I have the general gist of how this whole game is going to go planned out. I even have like a pretty detailed plan of the game that I made. So that is not going to be planning the game in general isn't really going to be part of the jam. It's all about just executing it. So it's a little bit like the Toronto Game Jam. If you've, if you've ever been to the Toronto Game Jam or heard of it, the whole idea of that game jam is that when you go in there, you already have the plan for your game, and it's all about executing that plan during the jam. So that's kind of the approach I'm getting there. It's not planned to every small detail, there's still going to be quite a bit of improvisation I'll need to do here. But, I just, I planned. So, for instance, all of the rooms of the game, all the floors of the game, I kind of made like a general gist of like, okay, like first floor of the dungeon is going to be a tunnel, and it turns into like a buried city kind of place, and there's like a number of rooms, and there's like a single like there's a 2-word 3-word description of the enemies, this sort of thing, right? So I'll still need to figure them out, but it's just enough to skip the problem, to not hit that problem where you start working on something and you're kind of freezing because you got the blank page problem, right? It's just to get me past this so that when I'm doing those sprints, I have a list of specific things to be making instead of making an enemy. I have, okay, a rat man or evil knight or, just enough of a prompt so I don't have just a blank page and I can just get going on the sprint and just draw monsters and implement them and all that. And same for the levels. So I have like a list of rooms and they're just super basic descriptions inside of a building, long snaking path, small room for a boss, stuff like this, right? So that's what I set up here. That's going to be what I have sort of going into this. Yeah, basically, don't want to be choking on like not being sure what to do next. Always kind of want to have a general idea of what I'm about to do. And yes, so the first sprint I'm gonna do, I already set up the little speedrun meter up there, is gonna be a 1 hour sprint. I think I'm gonna keep most of the sprints 1 or 2 hours long. Or maybe I'll try to keep them all 1 hour long. I'm not sure. We'll see. Now, so this sprint is gonna be about sketching the tavern itself and then turning it into a tile set and then laying out the tavern, right? Now, this is going to be a bit more than just doing the tavern itself, because as I do the sketch of the tavern, the mock-up of the tavern, I'm also going to draw the characters inside. And so in doing that, I'm also going to be sketching the main character, the main party members, like the pub, like the innkeeper, so I'm going to spend 30 minutes just sketching this. I don't want to be using what they call like parallax maps. No, I do want to use tiling because I'm probably going to have a use for those tiles later on other maps. And also I just want to have to do it. That just kind of, it just seems like a fun part of the challenge that I also need to tangle with the very specific tile set stuff. And I did do some preparation to get going on the tile sets. So I'll be doing a mock-up, and then, so 30 minutes to make a mock-up of the tavern, as including characters and stuff. Then I set up 15 minutes to turn that into a tile set, and then 10 minutes to relay out the taverns using those new tiles, right? So that's going to be the first sprint. Now, as part of the preparation before these sprints, I'm gonna try to also have all of the basic tile files open as well. So let's go. So this should be pub something, the project name, pub crawl, right? Now I'm gonna have a sketch here. Also, I haven't really fully decided the color scheme I'm gonna go. But I might just go with this one. That one, I think, is ARN32. Is that ARN32? Oh, yes, that is ARN32. Okay, good. Yeah, I like ARN32. It's a good color scheme. Yeah, that's a good color scheme. I like it. Yeah, I'm going to go with ARN32 for the color palette. Can I maybe make this a bit more gray, so it's a bit less? Yeah, something like that. And also for new documents. Yeah, there you go. No, I'll just be making a completely new mock-up for it. Okay, so that's going to be where I do the sketch. Now I also want to have I also want to have a tile set open. So I have made a bunch of this is just like the RTP. But I want to just open some like sample like a base tile set to use here. I made some samples already. So I think A2 is basic terrain. Yeah, I think this is basic terrain, right? A1 is A1 is like the water. I don't really need to do that. Let's see. A3. This is all stuff I'll need to like get a better feeling for. Okay, A3 is the buildings, so I can ignore A3 for now, but I will need A3 for the second dungeon floor. Because the second dungeon floor is like an underground city, kind of. It's like the underground, like sunken city that was like buried, and like a fossilized city is what I called it in the plan. So I will be using buildings for that, but for now A3 I can avoid it. A4 is what again? A4 is that's the basic walls. Okay, so the basic walls is A4. All right, so let's use sample A4. Okay, yeah, that's the basic walls. And then A5 is all like the more generic floors. Yeah, A5 is like the tiles you can just use however you like. So that's definitely going to be one I'll need to focus on. I'll need to always sort of remember, A5, that's like the easy to use everyday tile set thing. Yeah. Now I'm going to make a separate save of these. So this is going to be Tavern A2. So this is the kind of preparation I'll do before the sprints, just to make sure the sprints themselves, everything's going as smoothly as I possibly can. A5. So yeah, I'll basically need to use 3 files for this one. Yeah. Tavern A5. Okay. Now let's test out the little script I made to automatically export these into RPG Maker. So I made export RPG Maker assets, a little Lua script. There you go, and it's trying to save there. Let's make sure it saves at the right spot. Good. Okay. Then this one, you export RPG Maker assets. Yeah. And then this one, export RPG Maker assets. Okay, let's make sure that it's good. So here, let's open up the assets under tile sets, and let's see if it added. Tavern A2, A4, A5. Nice. And it is the right ones. Good. Oh, that's lovely. I don't need to mess with that. I don't need to actually mess with that myself. Perfect. And it scales them up too. Actually, let's make sure that that's also okay. That like these are actually functional. So like for instance, let's go to like inside here. Let's add like yeah, I'll just add them at the bottom for now, and later I'll just remove them. So A7, let's make this pub tavern, right? Tavern. This, let's just go with the defaults. Here, let's make this Tavern A2. Buildings, I'll just make it A2. Wait. A3, right? Yeah. Okay, then walls is A4, so let's go with Tavern A4. And then A5 normal. So let's make sure that this actually does work. So let's just change this one to be tavern. And let's make sure that the tiling makes sense. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, okay, so it is exporting it properly. It is exporting it all properly. Very good. Okay, that's what I want to see. Also, you can tell the resolution that I'm working with is way smaller than the actual normal resolution. So all of my assets are gonna be multiplied by 4. So each pixel is 4 pixels. It's gonna be very chunky looking game. It's gonna look very different from this. Okay, all right. I think we're about to start, y'all. It is time to begin the first sprint. I got my tea. It's all ready. Gonna probably be working with some layers here, right? So I can make the tiles on the bottom and the characters on top. That'll be easier to cut up later. Alrighty. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we go. We got 30 minutes to sketch up the tavern. All right. So, tavern. What are the walls gonna look like? Let's see, a good color for the walls. That might be a little too bright, but maybe with some detailing that can look fine. Oh, I should give myself a grid. And it's gonna be... gonna be a 12 by 12 grid. Okay, yeah, so this is what I have to work with here. 12 by 12 grid. This is smaller than the size I'm used to, so using an actual grid is gonna be useful here. Yep. Okay. So I could use this as kind of the line between. This might look a bit too bright for, it might look a bit too bright for walls, but... maybe not. Let's see. I'm not too used to this color scheme, so it'll take me a little while to really get comfortable with... Yeah, it'll take me a little while to get comfortable with these colors. No, it's not going to be submitted to Games Done Quick. I don't think they'd accept this. This might be a little too, you know... Might be a little too avant-garde. It's a very avant-garde speedrun, you know? Very avant-garde. Yeah, okay, something like that might be nice. Now, I was considering trying to do the same sort of wall perspective as in Malison. But for this, I would need to make the side walls 8 by 8. Which, that might be a bit... That's very... Actually, not even 8 by 8. It would be 6 by 6 in this case. Which would be a little... That would be a little bit tricky to do. That might be the kind of thing I need to just experiment with eventually instead of doing... Okay, let's do some basic characters now. On top of this. Let's see. Let's make. You know, we got some actual main characters. So I wanted to have a thing where you actually make the main character. You choose basically, from 4 different characters or 5 different characters. And yeah, let's make those. Like, there's Dionysus the Brave, Clarice the Wise, Valangale the Brute. Yeah, let's make those. Alright, yeah, so that's Dionysus the Brave. Let's go Clarice the Wise. Clarice the Wise is a mushroom. There's mushroom. Alright, next is Valangale the Brute. That's gonna be the big one. Not use. There's no darker red than this. Ah, it's always throwing me off. The colors are just not quite like I would do them. Maybe I should have just used the Malison palette. Nah, that would be cheating. Come on, it's part of the challenge. All right. Next. Okay, we're now officially over it. So now I need to finish. Let's see. Next is the Kobold. This is Sarunvak the Wretched. Alright, how do I make a wretched creature at this size? It's not a lot of space to make something look wretched. So, I made... There's still one more, Avundir the Ironclad, as the dwarf. Yeah, going way too long on this. I'm underestimated how long it takes to make character sprites. Yeah, alright, and now completely over. Alright, I need to move on now. I need to make this into a tile set. Let's go. Alright, so here. Maybe I'll do another sprint just making characters. Another 1 hour sprint. Just for characters after this. Yeah, maybe I should set aside the characters entirely for now. That kind of derailed the tile set one. That ended up taking more time than the rest of the tile set thing. So I think that might make sense to do. Okay, let's see. Okay. Wait, oh wait, that might work. Oh, so far, but almost. Oh, that's really close to working. That is really close to working. Okay, I just need to make some adjustments, I think. Yeah, this is really close to working. Yeah, look at that. Just need... Yeah, this part I won't be able to make it look good, though. That's the part where I cannot make this look good with the patterns I have. But basically everything else works. Yeah, let's tweak it based on what I'm looking at here. Like here, this just needs to be like this. Maybe I just need to look away and look back. Yes, look at that. Yeah, so this part here is the only part that doesn't really work. Yeah, and that looks kind of awkward. That's too bad. Yeah, the pattern just doesn't really work with this. That's the only part, though. Fuck. Yeah, maybe I can just make some custom... I don't know if I can make like some custom tiles that could just go over here without changing, but that... I think I can hold shift to make it... Yeah, so I could make some special corners later as like polish. And I could just add some special corners just for these parts. Yeah. I think I can do that. Alright, I'm not done though. I've been spending too long trying to look at that. go, let's go. All right, all right, all right. Okay, we got some bags, we got some barrels. Just add a little highlight on this. Okay, 3 minutes, let's go. Okay, I can do it, I can do it. Export layers. No, export RPG Maker assets, let's go. Yes. Okay, now, we gotta lay this out. Need to add B here. Tavern B. Alright. Now this is gonna be a mess, though. Oh boy, that's gonna be a mess. I need to change this to now use the tavern. And whoa boy. It could be worse. So this is gonna be a much simpler layout now, since I don't have as many parts anymore. But that's fine, I can revisit it later. I can just revisit this a bit later. So yeah, it's a bit more of a mess than before. But that's fine. That's fine. This is a start, you know? 1 minute above. Alright. Also, I forget to do the... I keep forgetting to actually hit the split thing. Okay. So that was the first sprint. It was a bit of a mess, but that's fine. We're learning. We're learning. Okay, so what I did this sprint wasn't too bad. So what I did for this sprint, basically made this sketch here, but also started on these characters. And yeah, on my second sprint, I'll definitely just be focusing on making characters. So these here are the 5 possible main characters. Right? These are the 5 possible main characters you can pick. Which is a good start, but I am supposed to also be making the actual characters for the pub as well. Right? So that's going to be the next thing I do. Right? So that's going to be the next thing I do. I'll be making a little sprint to make all the pub characters I can. So I guess it's 3 to reset, but I need to make new splits. Okay, so this is how I basically define the next sprint, right? Okay, so I'm going to be making some characters. What are the characters I'll need to make? I'll need to make first the storyteller. Okay. Storyteller. So maybe I give 10... should I give like 5 minutes to each character? I think that was about what I did, right? It took me about 5 minutes per character. I think. But maybe I should also add another 5 minutes for my main characters, since those are gonna need like walking cycles and everything. Maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes per character that can join your party. 5 minutes per like regular guys. Yeah, because for the characters that join your party, I need to make quite a bit of assets for each of them. Yeah. Well, let's set this up. Yeah, that's going to be the next thing. So I'll be making new characters for the pub, and then I'll be finishing these characters. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I think that's a plan. So first, let's just do the pub characters, right? So the storyteller, that's an important character, because the storyteller is the character you speak to at the start of the game and is sort of like setting up the general thing. And it probably ends up being a boss at the end, of course, because that's just fun. So let's make this 5 minutes for the storyteller. Yeah, I'll give myself 5 minutes for each. And 10 minutes for the actual playable characters. So first, yeah, storyteller, the Tavern Keep. The Tavern Keep is going to be 5 minutes. Right? Gonna have a weapon shop, weapon seller. That's 5 minutes. It's probably don't need 5 minutes for a lot of these, but you know that's fine. Weapon seller, armor seller. So there's some fun stuff that I was thinking about for these, for like the. Is it going to need? It doesn't actually. Okay, there you go. It doesn't like default these. I need to actually set them to be. Yeah, I need to set them these. Wait. Oh, I need to set segment time. Not okay. I get it. Right, I was setting the wrong one. There you go. Okay. I was confused there. So yeah, so the armor seller, the weapon seller, the Tavern Keep. The Tavern Keep is the character you speak to in order to actually sleep and rest. Every time you rest, the cost to rest again is going to go up. The armor seller and the weapon seller, also the supplies seller. These characters, the idea is that you're going to be able to find an item in the dungeon that you can bring to these characters that upgrades their inventory. Okay, yeah. So, storyteller, tavern keep, armor seller, weapon seller, supply seller, yeah. Then insert below. Gonna have one character is gonna be the cook, and the cook is gonna be giving you a very cheap way to heal, but that you can only get a limited number of. And with that actually takes us to halfway through. And those are like the main like characters like this that you just talk to in the pub. Oh no, there's a priest too. The priest revives your characters. Insert below. Priest. No, this is the total time. Segment time is what you need here. So these are all 5, but this is counting up. Okay. So we have the priest. Okay, now I think that's all the characters that don't join you that you can't recruit. Yeah, all the characters that can join you but that you can't recruit. That's those. Now let's also add basic sprites for the basic recruitables. So you have the drunk, the kid, the guard, the the soothsayer and the medic you find in the dungeon. So it's the drunk, the kid, and the guard that you actually recruit in the pub. Yeah, no, that's what it's adding up. This is segment time you have to look at. Oh, it is saying at there in the side, actually. Why is it doing that? Huh? Split time is... do I just need to, like... Okay, yeah, now it's updated. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so, next is gonna be... yes, so now, yes, so, the drunk... 5. Then we have insert below. That's 5 seconds. Hey, Pterodactyl, how's it going? It's doing well so far. The first sprint was a bit of a mess, but that's fine. Then the kid. So the idea with these guys, and then the guard. So these are going to be the first characters you can recruit to your party, and they're really the only characters that you can afford recruiting at the start. So you start the game with 100 gold, right? And so at the start, before you actually descend down, you have to use that budget, that very limited budget, to make your the best possible starting party, right? The drunk joins you for 20 gold. The kid joins you for 40 gold, and the guard joins you for 60. So if you pick the guard, you don't have a lot of money left for supplies, right? Now, there's going to be other characters you can find along the way, and you can also return to the pub, and you can there might be some other characters I add to the pub later too, but that are like more that cost more than you can actually afford. Now, what else you can do here? Let's see. So you can of course spend more of that money on the supplies, on weapons, on all of this. So if you like, so for instance, so the drunk and the kid are kind of weak. The drunk is like the worst character in the game. Terrible, has poor stats, doesn't really have much it can equip. The kid is really weak but has a slingshot. And the slingshot is a better weapon than what the drunk can use. And the slingshots overall are actually pretty good weapons. They're like the weakest sort of ranged weapon. But he's gonna die really easily. He's got even less max health than the drunk does. And the guard is actually a pretty decent, because he starts with equipment. And so he's actually the strongest by far out of these three, but costs a lot more to hire. And his equipment that he starts with, he does not take it off because it's his uniform. So you cannot upgrade his equipment at all, other than like accessories and rings later. So the guard is... there's only so much that the guard can get stronger because of this. He's stuck with his starting equipment. And that also means you can't unequip it from him and put it on someone else either. So in a sense, the guard is actually, in the long run, weaker than the drunk and the kid, who actually can equip better stuff over time. So the guard is... you can think of the guard as like being kind of a waste. Like all the experience the guard gets is kind of a waste because it could go to a character that's going to be that's going to be more useful later on. But the guard can kind of help you tank through the early floors, right? So that's the concept here. So yeah, there you go. That's your choices. I mean, you also have the choice of a main character at the start, but that's not going to be in there at the first. At first the game's just going to default with one main character, probably this guy, because he's going to be the most simple one to balance here. But yeah, that's the general idea. No, they can all level up, but levels in this are not nearly as good as equipment. Equipment is where most of your improvements come from. You do get a bit better over time. Your stats go up, max life goes up, but by a much smaller degree than what you get from equipment. So his equipment actually gives him a really good kick up at first. At first, he's going to feel like he can basically tank most enemies on like the first floor. But it's a big expense, and it basically is like kind of a wasted sort of long-term investment in a sense. I was thinking maybe later, maybe when he reaches a certain level, maybe he could get like a little upgrade to his gear, just so that he's technically viable for the end game, but still way weaker than any character you can change their equipment back then, so that he's not completely useless in the bottom floors. So maybe at like level 12, maybe his gear could change to like elite guard, elite guard armor or something, just so that he's not useless, but he's still you know, at this point weaker than basically even the drunk, right? The drunk and the kid are actually not great. Don't have good like equipment options really, but they're probably gonna have some pretty good abilities that they unlock at higher levels. I want to give them like some fun, some fun abilities that make them actually pretty good if you keep them until the end, because that's always fun when a weak character gets actually strong at the end if you keep them around. That's always like a fun thing to kind of reward people going with a weird party. But yeah, okay, so anyway. So yes. Priest, drunk, kid, guard. And then the last 5 minutes, what do I put it on? I could put the last 5 minutes on like... You know, I feel like 5 minutes is actually a lot of time for all of these, so I think I'm going to just put 2. Yeah, I'm going to put 2 more here. I'm going to add another one for making... I'm going to add a 10-minute break at the end. A 10-minute split at the end for turning the main characters... for giving, like, fighting sprites to the main characters based on this. Or, like, giving, like, walking animations for at least the main character. Yeah. So, walk anims for... Yeah, just walk anims. There we go. 10 minutes. Yeah. And this is going to be walk anims for main car plus NPCs. So that's going to be a tight one. 10 minutes to do a bunch of walk animations is going to be pretty tight, but I am presuming here that I'm going to have some extra time because a lot of these are not going to take 5 minutes. So that's the bet I'm making here. That by the time I reach the last slide, the last split there, maybe I'm going to have an extra 10 minutes. Maybe I'm going to be at like 40 minutes instead of 50, right? I don't know. That might not be the case. That might not be actually how this turns out, but maybe so, right? Okay, so that's the plan. Now I'm going to go take a leak and I'm going to have a little stretch. All right, yeah, so far it's not going that badly. Could be worse. Yeah, they did not take 5 minutes each, yeah. I mean, some of them could. Some of them I might not have, like... So some of these characters, I don't actually have, like, much of a concept of what they exactly look like. Like, the shopkeepers and all that, I don't actually know. I'll probably just make them look kind of generic. Oh, another thing is, yeah, so the idea is that the shopkeepers, you'll be able to upgrade them using items you find in the dungeon. Yeah. And I might actually make them like that their inventory looks like better and stuff over time too. But for now, okay. So I'm going to take a leak and I'll be right back. And when I'm back, we'll go with sprint number 2. Oh, actually, sprint 2, the tavern patrons. There you go. Make a video game %. All right, so I'll be right back. I'll resume the music, and like in just a minute, I'll be starting the next. That's right. Share the disaster. Okay. Okay, let's go. That's right, bring your friends. Tell a friend. Okay. I'll try to remember to do the splits this time. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So, I'm gonna probably put all of these into the same character set. These are all gonna be just the regular tavern patrons. I might actually make some of these bigger too. But yeah, so I want the storyteller to be kind of a spooky robe-wearing... Yeah, kind of a spooky robed figure. Yeah. A spooky robed figure. I was imagining a really fun little intro cutscene. Yeah, for sure. I was imagining a fun intro cutscene where this storyteller is sitting at the pub, and all the main characters, all these guys are all sitting around, and this guy is, you know, regaling them with a tale about the mysteries that are right beneath our feet. Right underneath this pub is something spooky. And then just after being told that story is when you choose which of those folks around the table you want to be playing as. And I think, yeah, the idea was that the setup is that, so these are like probably like an adventuring party. And, you know, after being told that story, like, you go to bed, you go sleep, and then the next morning, when you wake up, your friends are gone, and you're told that they've been either the storyteller like tell them to like invited them to go down to check it out or something, and now they're gone, and now you have to go down there to get them. Spooky. Okay, there you go. So that's the tavern patrons. Okay. So, there we go. We're now moving on to the tavern keep. Alright. Tavern keep. Let's go. That one is just going to be... Let's see... It's not too disastrous so far, but we'll see. I'm on the second sprint right now. Okay, next is the armor seller. Let's go. Armor seller. Okay. I'm thinking a big bearded big bearded dwarf. There you go. We got a blacksmith. Now, next up, the weapon seller. Okay, weapon seller. Gonna be an orc. Okay. Still 1 minute behind. Next is the supplies seller. This one could be a goblin. Yeah, a goblin sitting on a crate. No, a goblin with a bunch of bags. Yeah, a goblin just buried under, like, heavy bags. All right, cut down how far back I am here. Next is the cook. Maybe maybe a little kobold with the big chef's hat. There he is. All right, and bam! Now is the priest. We're ahead now. A little bit. Okay, the priest. Let's have the priest be a mushroom? Why not a mushroom? Okay. Next. Okay, now we are going into the characters that can follow you. I need to be more careful about making these big. Although I can make them big, I just can't be too, because they're going to be, actually walking around. And when those characters are too big, it can look ugly sometimes. Okay, so the drunk. Okay. Next. Okay, I'm now 1 minute ahead. Okay, next is the kid. That's right. All right, next. Next is the guard. Okay, let's do some walk animations. Got 10 minutes to do as many of them as I can. So, this is facing down. So let's do facing right. Shouldn't be too hard from this. So I'm already sort of facing right. All right, well, 10 minutes will be what it took me to make just one character's animations, let alone like 5. So that part didn't go so well. All right. Well, so, okay. That part, I kind of stumbled there towards the end. But I made a bunch of characters. At least. Well, I wanted to make basic walk animations for all of these as well. These are also characters you can have at the start. So basically, I needed like essentially, 30 more minutes. I mean, I might get a bit faster as I get used to these colors better, but all right, sprint number 2 complete. I mean, I'm happy with these characters. These are fun. Let's just see what it looks like. So we're now between sprints. Let's see what this guy actually looks like in action. We got Dionysus the Brave. Let's export. Export RPG Maker assets. Yeah. So, let's see. Dionysus. So let's see what this looks like just walking around. Because I might have made... Yeah, it's going to need some more details, but for now. So 2 sprints in. It looks alright. That looks alright. Yeah, they would. They would bring the room together. Look at these pipsqueaks. Right, I didn't actually set up this tile set too. I'll need to do that later. Okay, well. I mean, it could be worse. Let's see what it looks like now if I actually implement these other characters. Not the recruitables, but the tavern patrons. I need to make some more of these later. I might actually, one thing I might do. So I do want these to get upgraded. So basically the idea is that you bring those supplies you find in the dungeon, you bring it to them, and that upgrades their shop. And that's how you get access to the higher tier items. Maybe it won't change their main sprite, though. Maybe it'll just change like things around them. I think the next sprint is going to be the first level. Yeah, it might be the first actual level, the next sprint. So right now we're 2 hours. 2 hours in. I wanted to set 2 hours. Actually, I could do one more sprint for like combat stuff. I could do one more sprint for like the combat sprites. Also, maybe to including setting walking animations for those first recruitables. And also to give, like, combat sprites. I think that would be fun. You mean making games in general? Wrathwood? Or do you mean the weird, like, the little sprint I'm doing? The little speed run I'm doing in general? So SV actors. Okay, we got actors here. Actor 1 ASC. Okay, this. Okay, at this resolution, I can't tell what the different frames are though. So that's not a great... It's not a great one to start with. This here, I guess I could keep that on the side to remember which each of the frame is. As like a, yeah, that could be like my guide. And then I actually work on... Oh no, this is not an actual jam. This is just something I decided to do over the course of yeah, it was just something I decided to do over the holidays. I'm taking 2 weeks off from my normal project, my usual project. And the second week I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to take an actual break. And the first week, which we're on now, is going to be this. Basically making an RPG Maker game. So actor, this is going to be, say, Hero Dionysus SV. Let's say Fighter Hero Dionysus, maybe. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'll go over... Yeah, I think that's going to be the next sprint. Yeah, sprint number 3. So first let's reset. Okay, yeah, let's design sprint number 3. I'm going to give 10 minutes to each of these. Yeah. 10 minutes to each. First, it's going to be walk anims drunk. Yeah. 10 minutes for that. Then walk anims kid. God. The Pixel remaster version of this song is so damn good. Walk anims soldier. Okay. So that's going to take me to 30 minutes. Now, I think I'm probably going to take less than 10 minutes to do all of these. But, yeah, the sprites, yeah, some parts are a little disappointing about it, but... okay, and then, would it take me 10 minutes for each of the fighting sets? I don't know. I have not actually tried doing these fighting sets before. And, I mean, there's a lot of frames there, but a lot of them are basically the same frame. Like, a lot of them is just not really... Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me. It might take me like 20 minutes each or 10 minutes each. Okay, you know what? I don't know yet how long it's going to take me. So, what I'll do for planning this... Yeah, they're a little different. They're a bit bigger. Yeah, they tend to be a bit bigger, a bit more detailed. Yeah. And I do like that. I do like that they're more detailed. Because that allows me to like put a bit more personality in the characters. I think you can just choose the size they are, right? Yeah, you can just choose their size, but I think I will make them a bit bigger. But that could take a little while longer than to do. So you know what? I'm gonna give myself 30 minutes to do. So fight anims. Yeah, I don't know. I could just keep them the same size. just so that it's easier to do. Because if I make him bigger, there's a lot of characters I want to put in the game, so I might just keep them normal sized, just so it's a bit easier to do. You know? Yeah. Yeah. So fight anims. Dio. Yeah, I'll see if it's possible for me to do the fight anims in 10 minutes. Fight anims drunk. Fight anims kid. And I'm only going to be able to do I guess I could add an extra, like this could be an hour and 10 minutes sprint. Yeah. Fight anims guard. Yeah, let's try that. 10 minutes for each of these. Yeah. So that would take me, this would be a 1 hour, 10 minute stream. I'm trying to go for 10 minutes for each of these slices. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe that the walk animations, after I've done 1 or 2, I'll end up making them faster. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. That's going to be easier. I might make them just a bit bigger. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's going to be the plan for the third. Yeah, the third. So yeah. So sprint 3 is going to be brawlin' sprites. Yeah. Okay, just before I get going on the next sprint, I should just kind of walk a bit. Ugh. Give me just all right, let's do it. So, have a little water. H2O. Okay, yeah. So let's do it. Yeah, okay, so it's just battle animations after all. So I basically just need to use this for everything. All right. Oh, I should have started it when it goes. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, let's go. So first idle animation. So should I actually make them a bit more detailed for this? I'm kind of tempted to make them just a little bit more detailed, but... I'm a bit tempted to make them a bit more detailed for this, the purpose of this. Yeah, I'm a bit tempted at this. Just a little. I do have 15 whole minutes. It is a trap. It's true. You're right. It's a trap. You're right. God damn it. You're right. Alright, so it took about 20 minutes to make this one. Let's move on to the next one. All right, we got the drunk. All right. Moving on to the next one. The kid, the kid, the kid. The kid, the kid, the kid. That's right. Finally. All right. So I am way above for this. Jeez. Yep. Wow. That one took way longer than the others. This one took almost 30 minutes all on its own. Woof. All right. Now here comes the guard. The last one I need to do for now. I think so. Okay, idle. Well, very near to 30 minutes above. Yeesh. So this was actually a bit more than 20 minutes each. I mean, on average, it was 20 minutes for each of these. But one of them took 30 minutes. Really. Yeah. I mean, you know, I guess that was my first guess when I wanted to tweak the time for each was 20 minutes. But then I went back to 15. All right, well, let's just see what these are like. Let's import these. Yeah, there's a few animations that I'm not actually sure what they're doing, like what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, the ready animation and the sort of guard end animation. Maybe guard end is supposed to be for like counterattacks? I don't know. It's weird. I'm not really sure. I'll need to look into that at some point. Okay, so, okay. Yeah, no, the pacing is fine. I expected the pacing to be okay, because, I mean, you only have 3 frames to use anyway, so there's no reason for it to have a super high frame rate. So the last 2... or maybe last single, but probably the last 2 sprints tonight are going to be about the first level, the first proper level of the game. After you're done preparing, atop the after you're done preparing. Now, my plan originally was to set 2 hours for each level. 1 hour making the assets and 1 hour like laying it out, and actually 1 hour making like the monsters, like the enemies. 1 hour making the enemies, and 1 hour making like the actual area. So so the first level, when you go down there, the first level is going to be the basement. Yes, so first level, the Tavern Basement. And gonna have landing room, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now the enemies for the basement. Now, I need to remember what sizes enemies should be. Like what size, like what it's, You know, what does it look like when a certain size creature... Oh wait, didn't I have a few assets I made here just for that? Oh. Ah, okay, there you go. It was under enemies instead of side view enemies. So yeah, I took a bunch of sprites of the different size monsters and just shrunk them down. And this is actually like a huge monster on the screen at this size. Right? So we're talking 87 by 75 is like a big monster. This is like the biggest monster of the base assets, and it's like 138 by 80. And that's like, yeah, that's like a big monster. Like the... This one. That thing, that's pretty much the biggest sprite. Okay, it's not actually full screen. It's not actually full screen at that size, but I mean, I can't make them full screen anyway. Because if they were full screen, you would not have enough space for your characters, right? So this is about, I could make them taller than that a bit. Actually, no, this is basically as big as they can so that it's not like obstructing it's not being too obstructed by the menu, and also it leaves the room for the characters. Like, what is how much room does that leave? Yeah. Well, no, that's plenty of room here. Oh, okay, wait a minute. When you're placing them, you can't actually place it below this, huh? Look. This here is the actual room it's showing. It's not actually including the message box. Like here down there. Is it even going to be touching the message box there? Okay, yeah, no. So, okay. I actually have more space than I think. Okay. So really so I could actually make something bigger, like taller. I just need to be careful about not making it wider. Okay. Yeah. No, I can do monsters in an hour. Come on. Come on. Who do you take me for? Monsters in an hour? Monsters in 10 minutes? Come on. All right, so yes. So basically large size is 87 by 75. I'll just move these over as yeah, like just... So this is about as big as I can make a creature. I can actually make it a bit bigger than this. And this here is basically, big boss size. This isn't just a regular boss. This is serious boss size. This is more of like a nasty sort of that's like the size of yeah. And this is about like the smaller enemies. Smaller than that is probably gonna feel a little too small. Yes, the levels, that's gonna be tricky for sure. But having auto tiles to use is gonna help. I really tend to take my time when I make levels, but I don't usually use auto tiles. So I tend to be very I tend to just take my time in general. I tend to take my time in general when I make levels. I tend to go like with little single tile details. Meticulous. That's right. But yeah, I'm thinking these are basically like the general sprite sizes here for enemies of yeah, small, large enemy, small enemy, boss, and special boss. Okay, so I'm gonna do a first. Let's see. Let's list out the enemies I'm gonna be making for that first area. Okay, that's gonna be fun. Making enemies. That's making enemies for this in like a just really quickly. I think that's probably gonna be the most fun part of all this. I think. I mean, I'm in my element there. I'm in my element. Now, it's not just making the enemy sprite. This also is going to include making the enemy characters, too. But the enemy characters, I'm not going to give them 4 directions. I might sometimes, if it's like important to know where they're facing for some reason. But for the most part, they're not going to be they're not going to have facing directions. They're going to just like always face down. Or yeah, just the horizontal and it just flips left and right. That kind of thing. So for the most part, yeah. So it's not going to be really like as much work as the other character sprites so far. Okay, so let's set up what we have here. So the basement we have. So it's described as a simple set of corridors and rooms. There's going to be some secondary rooms you open with keys, and you can find keys here and there. You'll be able to buy keys at the shop as well, or maybe there's going to be someone like selling keys in the dungeon. Not sure. Maybe he's gonna have a limited number of keys you can buy from or something. I don't know. There's like a landing room, so there's gonna be 7 rooms total. 7 rooms total for the basement. One of them is supposed to be a shortcut back from a later floor. There is one large rooms with barrels and columns. There's a few smaller rooms too. The enemies, giant. So some cockroaches, some dust-eating monster, bandits, 3 types of bandits, and a mini boss that is a weird hermit, and no actual boss in this area. So no actual boss. Yeah, no actual boss for this area. There's just a mini boss somewhere. And the mini boss is optional. He's just like a weird wandering guy. Okay, so let's set up some worksheets here for these. Set up the splits. So how do I set this up? So one of the question was, should I actually set up the enemies themselves in that time, or just I do the assets? I think just the assets. Because I mean, right now I can't really test enemies because I don't have any of the items, and like there's no balancing. like I said, one of the things I kind of want to do off stream because it's really tedious and slow is like balancing, like setting the stats correct and all that, and that's like that's gonna be tedious. So, um, still want to limit how much time I want to spend on this off stream. I'm limiting it to 2 hours a day max, but I think that should be enough to do most of this. But yeah, so I'm probably not gonna actually like program the enemies. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe once I have the basics set up for the character builds and like the items and fighting, um, then at that point I might start like just actually implementing the enemies in the streams too. But for now, I'm just gonna make the sprites, I think. Because I mean, I could. I mean, it's more fun to test them if you can actually fight them. So maybe I will. Let's just set some time aside to make them as well. But I think it's probably best if I draw them all in one go and then I implement them all in one go. I think so. So I'm gonna give myself. Should it be 5 minutes or 10 minutes per? 5 minutes for the small creatures, 10 minutes for the big ones. Draw roach. Draw big roach. Draw dust eater. Draw bandit. So this is 5, 5, 5, and then 10. Wait, why can't I? Oh, because I need to reset. Okay, that's because I need to reset the. There you go. I forgot to reset this. That's why I couldn't add more. So move below. Draw thug. And then draw brute. So we're at 45 now. Draw hermit. That actually just takes me to to 55 here. So maybe then 5 minutes to try and implement them. I don't know if I can do that in 5 minutes, but again, I might have extra time at the end of all this. So why not try it? Import, implement enemies. Why not? Why not? 5 minutes is definitely not enough, but if I make the other things a bit faster, then yeah, I just need to be quick, and I'll have extra time for this. That works. This is going to be now for basement enemies. Sprint number 4, basement enemies. Okay, before I get going on this, I'm gonna make me some hot cocoa. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna resume the music. Actually, I was just running out of music. How about, you know what? This is a very, yeah, I know what I'll do. I'll put some Castlevania music. Hey, James, that's Smith. How's it going? Yep. All right, I'm going to go make me some hot cocoa. And when I'm back, I am now doing all of these enemies in 1 hour. That'll be fun. Yeah, that's got to be my favorite sprints for sure. Making a shit ton of monsters in a very short time. Love it. All right, I'll put some music on and I'll be right back with some hot cocoa. Let's see it. Yeah. Did you see my video? My YouTube short? Yeah, I put it everywhere. I don't know. Exactly. All right. That's good. Yeah, it's time now, just as the boss music begins. Let's go! All right, got 5 minutes to draw a small roach. Are you kidding me? A small roach. I need 1 minute for that. Moving on. Big roach. Okay, big roach. I'm gonna make it a bit more spooky looking. And that's another roach. Now the Dust Eater. I'm gonna go with a different color scheme on this one. Okay. Here we go. Now the bandit. I have 10 minutes for these. Might not actually need that. Alright, we got a thief. We got a bandit. Next is a thug. A thug is more of a brute. As a big of a actual. There's an actual brute, so not quite that brutish. Just have a little sit. I can go with a little sit. So here. All right. Next. The brute. Brute's gonna be big and with a big club. Probably an orc. Just a big old orc. Alright. Now the Hermit. The Hermit is actually going to be the mini-boss. Hermit should be kind of a weirdo. So, I finished all the base sprites a little bit ahead. I now have 13 minutes to do this instead of 5 minutes. And we'll see. We'll see if I can do it. First, let's make one character set for all of the encounters of the basement. Okay. All the assets should be in. Let's make some monsters. I got 5 minutes left. I didn't actually set up... I should have set up, like, some space here or something. I'm gonna leave some space at the top for, like important monsters, I guess, for later. Oh, it's not going to... Okay, it is going to put them all together here, at least. So we got a roach. Now, again, I don't know what to do for, like, the actual stats here. I'll need to actually balance these at one point. 10 agility is probably fine. I have no idea what kind of, like, you know, what amount of experience is appropriate for this, you know. So, also here. Basement. Big roach. Big roach is gonna have 40 HP. 10 attack. It's gonna give 20 XP. There you go. And that's it. That's it. So, yeah. A minute and a half over when I included actually adding the things. So, yeah. So, implementing a bunch of enemies like this, I mean, it's not exactly like... You know, that part, I feel like I don't need to actually make it. Like, I feel like that would have been better served spending extra time putting light animations on the characters instead of... Is this, like, implementing the characters here? It's not really, like, interesting. It's just, like, the most... I mean, I guess it's, like, the basic design of the characters, but I'm not really getting into the actual... Like, the actual details... I'm not actually getting into the design of them, you know? So, I don't know. I feel like it's better, it would be better to just use that extra time at the end to just add a little animation to them instead of... Like, I should do this part after the sprint, I think. You know? Yeah. Oh, actually, I guess I'm not done, because... I guess there was also the boss. I didn't even include the boss. I keep forgetting that at the start you yeah, I keep forgetting that at the start of at the first turn you kind of have to choose to act twice. It's a little confusing, but yeah, there's no way I can actually survive that. Well, I guess I can kill one of the roaches, but yeah. Okay. So, what's next? Now, making the actual assets for this area itself. Making assets for the basement. Okay. So that's going to be the next The next sprint. The spooky basement. So for the spooky basement, I'm just gonna have a single set of walls and just some like visual, you know, some little details on the walls too. Now, okay, so what do I want to do here? Okay. So I'll need to edit these. So that went pretty well. The sprint for the basement enemies went pretty well. Now let's do the final sprint for tonight. Sprint 5. Basement level. Alright. Basement level now. It's going to be kind of a simple one. Not going to be a lot of things to it. There's going to be... Okay. So first, I'll spend 30 minutes... I'll spend 20 minutes making a mock-up of what the basement's going to look like. And this time, I don't do creatures or characters as part of it. It's just the basement tiles itself, right? So, basement mock-up. And this is going to be 20 minutes. Okay. Then 5 minutes to make the basement tile set. 5 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes. I don't know. Because there is some, like, it's not just about cutting it up. It's also like you know, adapting the assets a bit. So 10 minutes for this. And then I will spend, so I have 7 rooms to make. Some are big, some are small. Okay, so first, make landing. So room landing. The landing room. Then room corridor. That's a slightly longer, but I think it's still essentially a simple one. Then room 3 large. So the room 2 is a corridor. Room 1 is just a small landing room. Okay. Room 3 is a large room. Large room with hermit. So that's the hermit's... Yeah, this is the room where the hermit's going to be wandering. Room 4. Long corridor. Room 5. Small room. Room 6. Opening to tunnels. And then insert below. Room 7. Secret room. Now, the large room with the hermit, I think, is the only one that I'll need 10 minutes on. These, I think I just need 5 minutes on each. That still leaves me 5 minutes above. Ooh, and I still have this one to do, too. This is looking like I'm going over. Well, I don't need to do the secret room. The secret room is going to be for later. All right, you know what? 5 minutes for every room. Let's try that. Let's see how what that gets us. Okay. So that will be 1 hour. It's probably too short. But I want to see, you know, how close I can get, I suppose. All right, so in preparation. Oh, yeah, right. I forget. I need to like hit delete on all of these because it remembers the last time entered. There you go. Okay, so now before I move here, let's open up the different tile sets. So I'm gonna just continue adding to the tavern tile set here. Don't need to make a new one for each. This is Tavern B. I can probably reuse these tiles here for the basement of the tavern. Also, there should be another tavern room. Yeah, here. So I'll keep these. A2, A4, and B. All right. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, now, yeah, no, that should work. Okay. Now, you know, again, I'm not going to be able to, like, fine-tune the level. I'm not going to be able to really do a proper design. I'm just really laying out the rooms, probably placing some monsters, connecting the rooms together with teleports. Just a basic layout of the place. That's the goal here. But before that, 20 minutes spent on actually drawing out the unique location. The basement of the pub. Okay, but before I get started, I'm going to go take a leak. I guess I can put a commercial on while I'm doing that. I didn't even do that once tonight, so there's probably been some random commercial interruptions the whole time, huh? Sorry about that. I need to remember to do this between every sprint, or else people are going to get commercials in the middle of a sprint, and that's not great. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, let's go. And before we begin, how about I put on the Symphony of the Night soundtrack? All right. Get ready. Three, 2, 1, go. All right. So, for the basement, it's going to be a much darker ground. Yep. All right. I think I'm ready to move this to tile sets. All right, let's go. Tile sets. So first, let's just do very simple floors. Yeah. Okay. let's export this, and then I need to add... I need to make some doors. There's no doors right now. Not my own, anyway. Okay, and I think that's all the assets I need, and I just reached that line. All right. Yeah. Barely went over by a minute. Okay. So, oh, I don't have stairs down. Ah, I need to add stairs down. That's gonna be here. Basement. This is the landing. Alright, so now I'm finally actually working on the basement landing. Oh boy. I'm very late already. Haven't even started. I guess I had already done that one. But yeah, I guess I had technically already done that one. Fuck the 3-tile rule. The 3-tile rule can suck an egg. That's what I say. That's right. That's right. I was always evil, Frankie. I was always evil, Frankie. Alright. I'm now just like... Wait, I'm 5 minutes at... Oh no, I'm 5 minutes late. Okay. I need to fucking get going. Alright. Now, this... okay, I need to consult my plan. Large room. Okay, no. Snaking corridor with six doors. Alright. Okay. Now I should be placing some enemies too. Oh boy. I'm really late. I'm very late. Yeah, I didn't place the enemies yet. Encounters basement. We got cockroaches. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Oh boy, I'm 10 minutes. 10 minutes behind. No, 6 minutes behind. Oh jeez. Alright. New tavern. And this is basement. This is the big room, I think. Yeah, large room. Alright. Oh, display name? Oh, you can have a name of the room actually appear visually? Oh, I think that's new, isn't it? I feel like that's a new thing. Alright, well, I am now officially out of time for this sprint. Well, I'll still keep going, but... This is where I'll put the hermit. I can't. Now, the hermit here is mostly going to move at random. Only a little bit moving towards the player. And there's going to be some... other... Well, that's the large room. Yeah, I'm 11 minutes behind now. Oh boy. Now it's the long corridor. The long corridor is the first one here. Yeah. Probably gonna have some, some stuff that's more obviously, um, like, living quarters or something. But yeah, there's gonna be like a few items here and a treasure chest you'll be able to loot. And by looting that, when you come out, the hermit, who was not hostile before, is now suddenly very much hostile. That's the idea. So you can get that loot, but now permanently have a very dangerous enemy here. Who's basically the boss of this area. So basically this area has a completely optional boss that if you don't loot a certain thing, you don't actually need to fight. So hideout here like that. Almost done. So this is the second to last room. Of course, I'll need to actually put the items there and everything, but for now, that'll be it. There's going to be some stuff up here. This is like a thieves hideout, so there's going to be some stuff too. The real thieves area is the next one. So in this area, they're just kind of introduced a bit. Okay. And now the final room. That's the room that's going to lead to the tunnel. Oh, actually, I could have went forward here. Yes. So now there's only one room left. There you go. So I'm no longer 22 minutes behind. I'm only 17 minutes behind. Hey, not too bad. That's fine. 17 minutes behind for a 1 hour long thing? Sure. Basement. Exit. And this is the transition room. This is the transition room. Oh shit, I didn't realize this. Huh. So you need to actually tell it that you can escape. By default, you can't. Ooh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. I'll need to go over all these... I'll need to go over all of these battles again to set it that you can escape from them. That's, whoops. Oh well. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that it's not by default. I guess they figured that battles that begin from code like this are special battles as opposed to random encounters. I just don't want random encounters in the game at all. So, okay, now, yeah, let's see. Could we at least set? If I don't specify a battle background, I think it automatically makes like a blurry background, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's just gonna make a blurry image of the bag based on the tiles, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine for now. I'll need to have actual backgrounds. Maybe that's gonna be one of the sprints tomorrow to make some backgrounds based on these tiles. Sure. Okay, let's give this a shot now. Okay, this is the end of tonight's work. The end of tonight's work. Now, I expect this is not going to be very fun because I'll need to spend a little extra time balancing this. Because right now it's going to be a big old mess. But sure, let's still sort of, yeah. Let's give it a shot. Also, from this, I'll be able to see... Oh, I don't actually have anything. So I can't actually get any items from this here. I can't, yeah. Yeah, I don't have any items to get. I don't have any... Also, oh, the walls don't have solid... The walls don't have collisions yet. Whoops. Yeah, I need to go over the new tile sets and give them collisions. And this just warps me back here. Well, alright then. So this is not... Oh, there's a... I'm not sure if I'll be able to make a... Oh. Okay, that works. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to... If there's a really simple way to make enemies like, you know... I wonder if there might be a way. Like a very simple way to make enemies sort of become more aggressive if you're close to them. Maybe I can make them run a script, like a processing event. Oh, it just does that? Just a little blur? Oh, the radial blur it did before was way better. I mean, that's fine, I guess. The radial blur you did in the previous versions, I think, was way better. I guess that makes it look like it's just standing on top of the floor there to fight. Which is kind of fun. I guess that's probably the reason. Maybe it does that only for the side view battles. And the first person battles, it actually still does the radial view? Huh, maybe it does that. Maybe that might actually make sense. But yeah, here, you know, the balancing is going to be way off. You have no way to actually increase your attack. You do very little damage and they have a lot of HP, so, you know, all that balancing, I'll need to do it. Yeah, I wonder what I could do. There's some setting? Oh, is there like a... Okay, no, you mean the action of getting... Oh, I didn't get them to actually... I forgot to put code so that they die when they die. Well. You know, I am making them approach me. I'm just making it that they approach me at random a little bit. So they're not too aggressive. They sort of alternate between moving at random and moving towards me. So that makes them kind of easy to avoid. As long as you're paying attention a bit. I like that for like a less aggressive enemies a bit. Also, I think I don't know if this should be a dark area here. Maybe just a little vignetting effect, just for atmosphere, but not actually a dark area. Like, do want to have dark areas in the game, but not too many. I want it to be kind of a... I want to keep a light touch on that. I'm noticing that... Okay, no, there are edges. So I can't get any closer there. But yeah, I am making them, like, randomly move towards me. Yeah, it's just like a alternating between move towards me, move at random, move towards me, move at random. So they're just not very aggressive, but they do actually kind of walk towards you. But yeah, making some enemies that move at random, but then if you get close, switch behaviors to moving towards you might be a good idea. Also, look at this. Look at this fella. This one almost entirely moves at random. But the idea is that if you loot any of his stuff here, it's going to change his behavior to be, to move super fast towards you. Yeah, that's actually something I did originally in the like the old Malison. Oh, whoops! I messed up with the doors there. Looks like. See, this one is a bit more aggressive. This one walks towards you a bit more often. But it's still not very dangerous yet. Definitely for like these more human characters, I'm gonna want them to actually... I'm gonna definitely want them to actually like sort of suddenly go towards you. Yeah, look at these bandits. Yeah, these guys aren't gonna destroy me. Yeah. Oh boy, yep. Yeah. There's no way I can survive against these. Not with the game as it's balanced right now. So I think my homework for tonight is gonna be to see if it's how simple it is to make. Like, I'm thinking something like maybe something in the route, right? Maybe something in the route. Ooh, could I run just a script like this in the route? How complex can I make a single line script in the route here? Like maybe like a wait at the beginning, right? Like this. And like move straight towards the player, and then at the end switches back the self event back to it switches it off, right? So A. So after it runs towards you, then it switches this back to off. So it's just a little dash towards you to try to get you. I can also like make the speed faster, the frequency highest, and all that. So, you know, if you get close, now it's gonna feel a bit random because it's only going to do that. It's only gonna check to see if you're nearby at a specific point in its route, right? Well, I'll need to. Yeah, like I said, this is gonna be my homework. Just getting this to work. That's gonna make the enemies chasing you a lot more interesting if they actually chase you if you get too close instead of just either making a beeline for you from the start or only moving at random and all that. You know, there's a lot more. There's a lot more going on if you can do that instead, right? Okay, well, yeah. All right. But yeah, that's going to be it. This was my first little my first little set of sprints. It was fun. It was fun. It's good to have this started. So tomorrow, I have something with some family, but I think I should be back. I think I should be back for 7, so I think I should be able to just do a regular stream tomorrow. All right, but yeah, thank you all for watching, and